Thank you for agreeing to come in and let me ask you some questions this morning. This is Kay, and Kay was a student of mine in the class last summer. So my first question is, from a learning theory viewpoint, how does collaboration in any setting, whether it's a face-to-face class or an online class, help increase student understanding?
I think it's very, very beneficial for student understanding in several different ways. For one, students have an opportunity to process and restate what they've been learning, but they also are challenged at that learning by other students who are listening to them and responding, and not only challenged, but they hear different perspectives, and so they have the opportunity to take that learning deeper than they would if they were working on it just by themselves. In addition to those benefits, there's the motivation factor. Kids love that social interaction. All learners love that social interaction, and so there's doing what you love while you're learning.
Okay, thanks. The second one, how does participating in a discussion board with classmates help your understanding of content? And do you find this type of collaboration effective for the grade level you teach, since you teach third grade?
Third grade this year.
So that is a question I would have for your grade.
Yeah. The most effective use of discussion boards that I've had is having kids use them to do reading responses.
Okay.
Instead of writing, after they read, they write a response to what they've read in order to kind of process that information and apply their learning to it. And I've had them doing that on a discussion board, which, number one, increases their motivation to do it because they're doing electronically, but it also gives them an audience for that response. In the traditional journal method, I would be reading all of those responses and responding to them, but when they do it electronically, then other students are reading those responses and responding to them. So one, it takes some of the burden off of me to read all of those responses. Two, they're getting responses from other students, getting different perspectives, getting responses from multiple students, and it's a much more effective way of doing reading response.
And building just on each other's knowledge. Okay. How can you take group work that you do in a face-to-face class and move it online? And what tools do you think you would use to do that, especially at the elementary level?
Yeah. And that's a little bit more challenging at the elementary level because of the age limitations on so many of the online tools. But the one that I have used most effectively is ThinkQuest, which allows students the opportunity to upload content, so they can either write about their learning directly on the site, or they can upload products such as PowerPoints that they have made onto their site. And then they have the capability to share that information with other learners and respond to other learners through discussion boards, votes, surveys. And so I've used that primarily as a whole group tool for them to communicate their learning with a project, but I would really also like to explore using it in more of an independent study or an extension where kids are able to go on and do something that the rest of the class isn't necessarily doing, to differentiate learning a little bit.
Great. Okay. Why is collaboration a skill that you think you need to develop in your students?
The social interaction piece of it comes very naturally to students.
Yes, it does.
But it's challenging to take them beyond just the social interaction so that it really becomes a learning tool. And so, first, if they're going to be online, you have to deal with things like safety and etiquette online.
Right.
But beyond that, you really have to help students. You have to help students collaborate in a way that supports their learning and the learning of others. And so they need to learn things like questioning techniques, and providing evidence for the things that they're saying, and just being able to take learning to a deeper level rather than just kind of repeating the content that they've picked up. And so, it's important to really you have to really develop that. You can't just set up a situation where kids are going to be online and have the opportunity to interact. You have to develop that for them to make the time purposeful.
Okay, yeah, as savvy as our kids are, they don't understand exactly what they're supposed to do when they get online sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, and what type of collaboration do you find beneficial to you as a professional in your own growth?
I think the closer that you get with collaboration to the classroom level and to everyday instruction, the more beneficial it is. Like distant collaboration is you get good ideas and it's interesting and kind of refreshing, but when you get within the district with collaboration, it becomes much more purposeful and task-oriented, and you really accomplish things. And so even within the district, there's levels of that. There's district-wide, which is beneficial in kind of getting people on the same page. But as you get closer to like your grade level team collaboration is where you really take what you've gotten from some of the other collaborative pieces and really work together to put it to use. One of the interesting things about district collaboration is that even though it's within our district, more and more of that collaboration is becoming online collaboration through email, through SharePoint sites. It's more time efficient. It's easier to get everybody together. It provides good documentation of the work that you've done.
Okay. Well, I appreciate very much, Kay, taking the time to answer these questions this morning, and thanks for all of your insight on collaboration.